Hey everybody, how's it going? I love that song. It doesn't go out of my head until I do this a few times, and I just keep going because I'm so happy to be here and see Zach's face, and he is smiling. Okay, that's it. Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Wednesday. That means it's time to hang out. Maybe one day we'll find an actual name for whatever the hell this is, but like.
I still think, I mean, we haven't talked much fantasy football, but I still think fantasy cares about your fantasy team.
Yeah. Well, I said that, and Bob gave me this looks like it's a little long. But I'm like, but it's accurate. Yeah, no. So, hey, everybody, how's it going? I think I'm supposed to say stuff like, hey, welcome to the Fantasy Cares YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the notification every time we go live, which, by the way, is every Wednesday at 9:30-ish. We hit 9:31. That's good. I don't know, just accept it. And then hit the thumbs up so I know that you care and that you like us. We're going to keep doing this anyway because I like talking to Zach, and that's really all this is. And we just get to do it with an audience and talk with all you wonderful people also. But, I still like validation. But it is Wednesday, I think. I didn't confirm it with you today, so
I confirmed it with you yesterday during the live stream, though. So yes. We're good.
Yes. Okay. So it is actually Wednesday. I'm sitting here like talking to my wife right before I come downstairs. And I'm like, all right, I got to go downstairs in like 5 minutes. But wait, what day is tomorrow? And I'm like, clearly I know I'm going downstairs to talk with Zach on a Wednesday. So I have to know tomorrow's Thursday, right? And I got there eventually. I got there. But we are here. And that's all that really matters. So, hey, everybody, how's it going? Okay. For weeks now, we kind of knew Davante Adams was going to end up on the Jets. Let's just jump in. And let's go back 3 weeks ago where Garrett Wilson was getting like 9-10 targets, but like 4 catches for 55 yards, maybe a touchdown if he was lucky. And then goes to London.
20, yeah.
19, 21 targets, something crazy like that. Last week, I think it was like 13 targets, 10 catches, 11 catches, something like that. But like we get 2 straight weeks of that production. And now I'm sitting here saying, over and over again, it's good if Adams goes because Garrett Wilson won't see that number 1 corner and all that stuff. First of all, he's gotten through the bad corners. Well, the good corners, I guess, is the better way to put it. Does this still work?
I mean, I don't think it is good for Garrett Wilson. I played Paul Charchian last week in Scott Fishbowl, head-to-head. He had Garrett Wilson. If we were going into next week with Davante Adams on the Jets and he played Garrett Wilson, I think I beat him. But okay. I lost. Now, it's not... It's going to be a weird thing because like you have to hold 2 different thoughts in your head. It's not bad for the Jets offense and ostensibly Garrett Wilson to have Davante Adams on the team. Davante Adams makes that team better. The problem for Garrett Wilson, and I don't think this is just analysts sitting here like throwing stuff at the wall. It seems like his rapport with Rodgers is not great. And you still see Rodgers be frustrated. Even when Garrett Wilson is having great games, you still see Rodgers be frustrated 3 or 4 times.
I think that's just his face these days.
Yeah, but he like he doesn't get frustrated when Lazard drops balls. He's excited about having Davante Adams back in the fold. It just the volume to me backs off a little bit, and now you're hoping that quality of targets goes up with the quarterback that he hasn't had great quality.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's like a step back necessarily for Garrett Wilson, and I think like Garrett Wilson is a fantastic player. I think this is a buy window if you're playing Dynasty.
In the career of Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, because again, I think he's fantastic. He's leading the NFL in targets. So he's a good wide receiver. I don't see this as being a net. Yeah, it's a step sideways. That's a great description of it, Tim. Like, I don't see it as a net positive, but I don't see it as like a huge like detraction from him. But I think that the sentiment is going to be, oh, the Jets don't trust him. They went and got a wide receiver one because on a wide receiver one. Now he's a wide receiver two. And there's going to be a lot of like post hype 2022 like revisionist history where like people are going to victory lap the fact that Garrett Wilson is now, hasn't been what everyone expected him to be, except for he has. Like, he's other than being in the end zone, he's been amazing. So
yeah, I see. Okay, so Scott says, I've said since the trade that Garrett Wilson could be Devonta Smith light when A.J. Brown came over to Philly. Better matchup as a wide receiver, too. But the thing to me was Devonta Smith needed that. Devonta Smith wasn't that guy. He was not an X. He was not a number one or anything like that. He needed A.J. Brown on the other side. Garrett Wilson doesn't need Devontae Adams on the other side. I don't know if it's a matter of us, because you know me. Like, I always I have trouble stepping back and seeing the bigger picture and seeing what's not from my frame of mind a lot. So it's just like, of course, everybody knows that Devontae Adams is only there because Aaron Rodgers is there. But like, do the people that aren't on Twitter 24 hours a day know how much of a jerk Aaron Rodgers is and that he just brought his friend over? Like, and I'm legitimately asking that because, like, you just said before, that people are thinking that they don't trust Wilson and stuff like this. And in my head, I'm like, well, that's silly because everybody knows Devontae Adams wants to play with his friend and Aaron Rodgers gets what Aaron Rodgers wants. Yeah. But like, I guess the world might not know that.
It's such a weird situation. And it was a weird situation too, like post Saleh.
Yeah.
Because like you had the week where Aaron Rodgers came off the field and Saleh was gonna like chest pound him and then hug him, and Rodgers is like, nah. And then the next week, Saleh's gone. And then the next week, Devontae Adams comes in, and you have Aaron Rodgers giving interviews like, oh, no, I'm not in control of anything, as he's like puppet mastering up at the top.
And Devontae Adams shows up behind him.
yeah.
I don't know if that was the same interview, but I saw he was talking to McAfee, I think it was, and all of a sudden you just see Devontae's head sticking out on there.
It's so wild. Like that whole organization is interesting. I'm glad they're in the AFC East.
Seriously, if Rodgers has the power to remove the Johnsons from ownership of the Jets, that would really,
yeah, yep,
like that. Like that was so. The Jets are gonna Jets. I think that's really what it always comes down to. But like, seriously, like, why not at this point just embrace that this is Aaron Rodgers? Like, why wouldn't Aaron Rodgers just be like, yeah, wasn't having it, wasn't feeling it with Saleh. wanted my guy here. I got my guy. Like, at what he has such other delusions of grandeur. Why not just feed into the one he actually has? This isn't a delusion. He has this grandeur.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. We got a 2016 stat. Nelson, 97 catches for 1257. Adams, 75 for 997. I will never forget that year because that was when everyone was saying that Devontae Adams never caught 1,000 yards in a season. Yeah. And I started yelling, like, get over it. 3 yards. Give it to the man. I think that was his third year where he happened to catch like 17 touchdowns.
Yep. I dare say that Garrett Wilson ends up with more than 75 targets for the year, though, because he's at 67 right now.
Well, that's catches.
Oh, is it? Okay. I don't
yeah,
have
no.
his catch totals, but
He's going to end with at least 85, 95 targets.
oh yeah, at least they'll get a couple of pop passes a game. That'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to throw it to Garrett Wilson, and Devontae Adams is going to run by, grab the ball out of his hands.
Oh man!
But I think it'll be good. Like it'll be good for football. That's what I keep trying to tell myself, that with the way this season is rolling out and how we're losing players every single week, like give us some good football. And
Yeah.
Devontae Adams playing football is good for football. Devontae Adams playing with Aaron Rodgers feels like it's good for football. The Jets being good makes my life easier because I have to hear less people around me bitching about it.
Oh yeah, but I still like, as like peripheral Pats fan as I am, like I'm not like the hardcore Pats fan. Like I still kind of get excited about watching the Jets lose.
James Starks had 43 catches for a running back 10 years ago. It's
Yeah.
pretty big. Oh, but like, I mean, you brought up being a Pats fan. Drake May didn't look bad.
No, although he was on the injury report, had an MRI on his knee today. But yeah, he was. I think there was the stat that I heard today that it's the first time the Patriots have had a touchdown thrown in 3 consecutive quarters since Tom Brady was here, and like the year before they went, or the year after they won their last Super Bowl. So it was like the last year of Brady. So it's been a minute since they've had quarterbacks that.
I loved seeing Pop Douglas pop.
Yes. Yeah. And Keyshawn Booty?
Touchdown, baby.
Yes. Back from the dead. It was great. I still think that that's a tough offensive line and a tough team specifically for May. And people have kind of gotten this twisted, because I talked about even back pre-draft where like I was advocating for the Patriots to trade that pick, especially to the Giants, because I think the Giants would have crazy overpaid, and it had nothing to do with May, because I thought May was good. I think May is a step down from the top two with Daniels and Caleb Williams, but I still think Drake May is a solid, like above average NFL quarterback. I think he's mobile. I think he's got a big arm, but so many of the negatives that I was seeing on tape from May were that he would try to be a hero when things went bad, and when that happened, he's kind of compounding, exacerbating the situation, and then being frustrated, and then trying to do more. And it's like the guy pitching when he gets his fastball hit and he tries to grip it tighter and throw it harder, and that actually doesn't help you. It's the same idea. Like if you press, like by definition, you can't do more than what you can do. And so when you try, that's when you start to make mistakes. And so, yes, it was a very nice beginning to the Drake May era in Foxborough. I am still concerned that the Drake May era may not have enough pieces around him. Like they're going to have to do some serious work, and they don't necessarily have a lot of. I mean, they have some like mid-round picks, but they're going to need an offensive line. They're going to need something to go around him, because he's going to need to. One of his flaws is he'll stand in the face of pressure. It's also a positive, but like he'll stand in there and take hits. So if you're not blocking for him, he's gonna.
Well, on the plus side, the Patriots are 1-5, so you're at least the first round pick will be nice and early.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we got to figure out Jacksonville on Sunday in London. How to lose to that dumpster fire.
I have to remember that there's a London game. Ugh.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'll complain about that in a minute. First, like the chat wants to keep talking about the Jets. I don't know why they want to punish themselves, but is Mike Williams' foot out the door? I think they announced he was on the trade block like before the Adams deal was even done. So yeah, absolutely. And then Charlene's like, oh yeah, he's gone. He's gone. Where do you think he ends up? I mean, who needs? I mean, the answer, like, since everyone thought Cooper was going to end up in Dallas, so maybe Mike Williams, even though Jerry Jones came out and said they're not going to do anything at the trade deadline. Casey might still need a wide receiver. I don't think he necessarily is what they need, but it's
I mean, he doesn't necessarily duplicate anything. He's kind of a big downfield body that they don't have.
That.
No, I know they haven't, but like, it's not that they could but he's like the bad version of T. Higgins. So like, what are you gonna do with that? Yeah, no, I know.
Both of them, maybe.
No.
Yeah, the Commanders also. I am.
That actually might be a good fit.
Loving what this Jaden Daniels to Terry McLaurin connection is looking like. But like, I don't want them to trade for Mike Williams because now I'm kind of getting on board with seeing T. Higgins go there after this season.
Yeah.
Just because, like, first of all, I don't necessarily like the Commanders jersey, even though
it's not the powder blue for sure.
It is not the powder blue, but it is better than like Patriots red, white, and blue.
I don't know. That would look good.
I hate red, white, and blue jerseys. They all just look the same to me.
But you gotta come on the patch throwbacks that they wore this past week, like those to me, the red ones. I like those. Like those are like top 5 for me jerseys. Like nothing tops the Chargers, the powder blue, but like they're up there.
Yeah,
the old like with the Pat Patriot and like.
Oh, I love the helmet. Don't get me wrong. I love the helmet with Pat Patriot on it. Like, yes, absolutely.
I get to revisit my childhood watching Rod Rust go 1-15 at the helm. Like it's all this Andre Tippett and Ronnie Lepet and
you're just making names up at this point.
Irving Fryer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Halloween's on Thursday, so we get football that I can't. Oh, I remember this. I can't remember when it was, but there was football on a Halloween recently, and a bunch of people in my development apparently have TVs in their garages. Like They turn their garage into man caves. So like we get to walk around and people just have their garage open. So I get to catch games as we walk by.
And it'll be so like the chances of them being on in your neighborhood with the Jets on is high.
Yeah. And don't you tell me that I can't complain about something, Charlene. That's really all I got.
I love it. I can wake up and just lay in bed and watch a football game.
Oh no, see, I'm actually good with that. I'm annoyed that I didn't remember it was happening, so my fantasy lineups got screwed up. This guy was on my bench.
Oh.
Yeah, I ended up starting 2 shares of Roshan Johnson. I did not want to start. Like in the same league where he was on the bench, I started Roshan and couldn't put in Breece Hall.
Yeah.
So like, and again, that's absolutely my fault. That's not really London's fault, but like, let me complain about it because I want to complain. That's what I'm good at. That's what I do. KC is getting Hopkins, last musical chair.
Ooh, good. That would be fun. I like the way Mahomes creates and the way Hopkins still
can do
is open even if he's double covered.
Oh yeah, by the way. Yeah, plus I would love that because then Calvin Ridley can get even more bad targets. Yeah. At one point in like the third quarter, Calvin Ridley had 8 targets with 0 catches.
And like most of them were like out of bounds. Like
they're terrible. Like, I had such hopes that Will Levis wouldn't be terrible. Like I never expected great. I never expected very good. I was hoping for good. I was expecting mediocre. It is bad.
They're not even doing the like check down thing with him. There's so many balls where Levis just like drops back and then like throws it as hard as he can and ends up under 2 defenders.
Well, it's funny, like what you were saying about May is what was the first thing I noticed about Levitt
Yes.
was he stands there. It is terrifying how he just stands there in the face of 3 guys just rushing at him. Like, part of me like wants to commend him for that. Because like, good for you. Like, letting the play develop, putting your body on the line, but what's the difference if you throw it 10 feet over the dude's head and you know, or like,
Yeah.
I just want good things for Calvin Ridley, and it's not happening. Steelers also, that's right, because the Steelers were also in the Ayuk lottery for a little bit.
But Mike Williams really duplicates Pickens. Like, that's
Is
not
Ayuk all that
not to
different?
be. They needed an Amari Cooper. Like, they need somebody that can slide into the slot and draw a bunch of targets. Like, that's really what they. I mean, they really need Wilson to do that.
Yeah, but
yeah,
but Ayuk is.
Oh, Ayuk, he's kind of a combo. I think Ayuk is actually better as a downfield receiver, although he's been fairly good over the middle of the field and doing that sort of thing as well. But I think if you like Ayuk's skill set, if you were going to use him to like perfection, it would be more downfield than what like he would be like when Brandon Cooks was like at his prime. Like Ayuk would be like Brandon Cooks plus if you could do that. Although I'm not sure that that's the NFL the game as much anymore. So he's been good. He's adapted to usage, but I think like he's more like better suited to be a downfield go get it guy.
Yeah, which is why he should have changed teams and not stayed there and not be useful. I am old enough, but didn't watch football back then, so that doesn't really work.
Yeah. Well, they were bad enough that most of the time it was the Giants on TV at that point.
Giants jerseys have looked the same for the past 80 years. They're just blue with different. Sometimes there's red on the numbers, sometimes there isn't.
Yeah.
I saw an article that the Steelers should trade for Thielen, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's too bad they didn't have a guy like Deontay Johnson because that would really like. You know, I was just looking at this and it's really funny. The top 10 targeted wide receivers so far this year after 6 weeks, and it's kind of wild. Garrett Wilson is 1.
Mm-hmm.
You know who 2 is?
Deontay Johnson.
Wan'Dale Robinson. Deontay's 3.
Oh, I thought, yeah, I knew Wan'Dale was up there. I didn't realize he moved up to 2. I mean, that's also because Neighbors has been out for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. Deontay's 3. CeeDee Lamb, Drake London.
Love it. Love it.
DK, Chris Godwin, and I saw somebody that had tweeted out the other day, like where did this come from? How did how come Chris Godwin is good again? And like I talked to
He's always been good.
But I talked to Andrew Cooper, A Fiasco at the Scott Fishbowl live draft, and he drafted Godwin just in front of me, and I was very upset. And we both kind of looked at each other and went, he's moving back into the slot and he's going to be amazing. And I'm like, yes. And I'm very upset at that, but he has been. And then you got Amari Cooper in the top 10 and Malik Neighbors after missing 2 weeks, still top 10. That's so crazy. It's just a weird year.
Yeah. Well, that is absolutely the definition of what's going on.
Yeah.
Sam
Grogan, yes.
Cunningham.
Grogan
with a fantastic name.
With a neck roll.
And a terrible London game at that. I'm not sure if he's talking next week or the week that just happened. Because at least the week that just happened, there was a lot of scoring involved.
Yeah. No, I think he's talking about the Patriots.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, Jake McPherson, yeah. From Maine, though. He's from up here.
You people know that. Like, if there's ever a famous person, he's from Maine, of course.
Well, I mean, we've only got like 43 people here, so we know everybody. Yeah, see? There's a lot of support.
Maybe I just don't like red enough. It might be just a little too loud for me. Like that, I'm a little better with the Commanders red because it's a deeper red, but like Patriots red is like
I mean, it is definitely red.
It's
Like,
like
there's no.
cherry Kool-Aid red. It's like it's out there for the world to see.
Yeah, but you put enough sugar in that, it's fine.
Um, yes, I think this coming
I,
week is the last London game this season.
I don't know. I was talking with J Mike earlier this week, and he was like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good. This is a weird season because like I'm I'm less plugged in than I've ever been with a football season. Like I'm still doing the fantasy thing, but like in terms of actual like nuts and bolts of the NFL season, like I'm not. I'm not as plugged in, which is interesting. It's a weird feeling. I feel like a little bit like the balloon that you cut the string and you just kind of float. Yeah, yeah. Bye.
But it's a good
But
feeling. I like it because it's you get to float up there and just look down and just be like football.
the 35,000 foot view.
Yeah, it's funny. Like that's really like when I try and explain to people how I'm not a fan of a team anymore, and I'm just like, it's great because like I can just sit down on Sunday and watch football.
Yes.
Like that's all it is. I can root for good football. I don't need to root for someone to lose. I don't need to root for someone to win. I don't have to be frustrated when they do or don't do whatever I want them to. I just get to sit and watch football. Also, that's also how I explain how being in 37 leagues, which I'm not in anymore, thankfully, works. It's just like that the player you need to score points in one league, you're playing against him in another one. So there's no point in rooting for anything. So you sit and you watch football, and then Monday you look at your scores, or Tuesday you look at your scores. And that doesn't compute to people because everyone's way too competitive for that. And I don't need to
But
look. I don't care
but
about
I
that.
think it's a really healthy way
Yes.
to watch. Like I've seen a lot of people be very frustrated like in real time. And I'm
Yep.
like, you don't know what's going to happen and you can't control it anyway because you already set your lineup. So you might as well just enjoy the football.
Oh, but what is fantasy football if not for the tilt? Am I right?
I guess. I like the t-shirts.
I, I, well, first of all, Hunter Henry's in a lot of my starting lineups because, well, may not have to be anymore because usually it's because I had him on the bench and had to start Hunter Henry. But now, touchdown, baby.
Yeah.
But I was going to say I'm really annoyed at that hoodie because I love the logo. Good job, Bob. And the hoodie is so soft and so comfortable,
It is.
but it is so warm. I can't wear it.
Oh, see, I am still holding off. This is a bone of contention with my wife, but I'm still holding off turning on the furnace
Mhm.
this year. It was 34 degrees outside this morning. I didn't realize it was going to be that cold.
Yeah, it got cold. Yeah, it hit the four. No, it was like 39 here in the
Yeah,
morning.
and but we still haven't turned the furnace on. So like it is nice right now for me that it is I almost put on my beanie, but
I have it right up here, so it could just look like I'm wearing it. Yeah,
yeah.
Levis is bad. Okay, Frank taking a few steps back. Frank was hoping for Levis to be like a top 5 quarterback. That was one of his hot takes on one of the Trade Addicts episodes.
I mean, I still like Frank.
Oh, yeah, he's okay.
Levis, man, but Frank.
I think Calvin really even now knows better than to take the over on his receiving yards.
Yeah. Oh, it's been rough.
I do not remember a last minute scratch a couple of years ago from a London game.
The only Kamara games I remember are the games where he scores 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Well, he did that maybe the beginning of did he do it at the beginning of this year? But he did it on
Yeah, week 1 he had 3, I
yeah,
think.
he did it on Christmas, which was
Yes.
like fantasy championship,
Yes.
just imploding all of my hopes and dreams.
Hi, friends.
Hey.
Does Fryermuth stock rise in Pittsburgh with Wilson at QB now? I don't. Wilson never used tight ends before. Jimmy Graham, because he was Jimmy Graham, but he still only used him in the red zone, in the end zone and third downs. Like,
He Disleyed a
Russell
little
Wilson
bit.
never really used a tight end.
He dabbled in Disley. I mean,
for the 30 seconds in between him getting hurt. But like Muth was doing a little better this season already on his own anyway. So like I think that offense gets better. So maybe Muth will do a little bit better. Roman Wilson finally on the field. So I'm hoping I have a lot of Roman Wilson going on. So I'm hoping he gets some of that over the middle stuff. But like that's where Muth eats.
yeah.
So
I do think, I don't know that it's like a stock rise, because I don't think people care enough. Like if you're talking about, all right, here we got to separate out fantasy. Like if you're talking fantasy football value, nah.
no.
But if you're talking about like he's right now tight end 6 at just under 10 points a game in PPR, like straight PPR, not tight end premium.
Yeah.
Do I think that he like gets better? Probably. I think they throw more, which I think leads to more targets for him, which in turn leads to more catches, more yards, potentially more touchdowns. I am sad to see Justin Fields not at quarterback for Pittsburgh for my fantasy teams. I get it. I totally get it.
SFB team, baby. Though we're going to have a completely once we're at some point, we're going to have a conversation about Anthony Richardson coming back, because Joe Flacco has been my very solid QB too. But yeah, no, like Muth is fine.
Yeah.
I think we're talking old Patriots again.
Yeah. I was always a who's the Marv Cook. I was a Marv Cook guy, but
so this is a very, very tough question. Us to each other, we quote Ocean's 11 like all the time.
I've never been to Belize.
It's 10:04. Get a watch that works. Like, it's really funny. When I was in high school, I was about to say I had a best friend, but they're like, no, I'm still friends with him. We quoted movies so much that someone first bet us that we couldn't go like 3 hours without quoting a movie, and then we did it, and then we go to each other. Do you think we can only talk in movie quotes for 3 hours? You're damn right we did. So it's physically impossible for me to do that. Like someone once asked me, like, what movies do you quote the most? And I'm like, in what context? I could just give you a list of ways I say certain numbers because of movies. Like it's so rough for me to do that, but like Nightmare Before Christmas finds a way into everything. Like I was saying with numbers, 11. Oogie Boogie rolls the dice and goes 11. So anytime I say 11, I do that like boisterous 11. Like, do you have anything outside of Ocean's 11 that you throw out a lot?
I mean, I spent 4 years in college basically talking in movie quotes like that. I think that's kind of a thing. I don't know that there's anything specific. I mean, I do a lot of baseball movies, so it's a lot of like Bull Durham, like, oh my goodness, we got ourselves a natural disaster, that sort of thing.
You and baseball movies are absolutely a thing, because you quote like at Expo weekends.
Yeah,
I think we talk about Mr. Baseball like at least for a few hours.
So my favorite like baseball quote, and I do it with fantasy football a ton, because you'll have people throw out these like ridiculously small sample size stats. And there's the like when he's defending him, when Tom Selleck is defending himself before they trade him to the Chunichi Dragons, and he's like, I led this team in 9th inning doubles in the month of August last year. And they're just like, yeah, okay. And like I feel like we get into that. I may have messed up. So I've got my 8-year-old son, Harrison. And I will do the Pulp Fiction say what again? Like, do they speak English? And I don't. I paraphrase. I keep it PG.
Good,
but like, I'm waiting for him to go to school and be like, say what again? And,
does he look like a?
Yeah. So I like there are a lot of them. Like, and the beautiful thing about movies is there are so many and so many genres, and there are
Yeah.
so many great quotes that there's almost one for any occasion. So
Ooh, there we go. He doesn't like red, but wants a Higgins Chiefs jersey. All I said was that if the Chiefs traded for Higgins, and even if it was a 1-year rental, I'd probably buy that jersey. So it doesn't mean like I want it.
would you
I'm
get the
just
white
saying,
one or the
oh no,
red
I
one?
no white jerseys, no white jerseys ever. I'm trying to think if there's a single white jersey I actually like. Like I remember like both the Bengals and the Vikings came out with their like color rush all
Yeah.
white, and everyone's just like, it's so slick, it's so neat, and I'm like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. That's awful. That's gross. First of all, it's gonna get dirty in 3 seconds, and it's just gonna annoy everybody. But like, I don't know. I don't like white jerseys.
Well, and especially just the jersey, because you get like at least you get the pop with the helmet. Like the
I
old
like white helmets. I really do like the I can't remember the Bengals version of it, but like because the Vikings white helmet has like that silver on it also like it.
yeah.
I like the helmet. I don't like the jersey.
Yeah, but what I mean is like I don't mind the white jersey when they're wearing a helmet, but
Oh,
like just
gotcha.
a like if you're gonna put a white jersey on your wall or just like yeah, but like the old like to me I picture like the Randall Cunningham with the with the and like the Kelly Green
Yeah.
Eagles, so like that's a good looking uniform, but I dig it. I understand.
Yeah, I'm like looking through all the NFL teams, trying to think if there's a single white jersey I liked. And then, like, I grew up a hockey fan, and I owned a lot of jerseys and not a single white one anywhere.
This
Like, there's
to me maybe the best jersey in sports, and I'm very minimalist, but I love the Detroit Tigers home white, like, and they're super plain, but I like that.
Detroit Tigers home jersey. So it's just white with blue.
With the
I,
yeah, and the
I
blue,
almost
like
said icing, but that's not the right word because that's cakes.
was it piping?
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah,
And just the Detroit D on it. Yeah, it's fine. Sure.
icing sounds good though.
Yeah. No. My daughter microwaved a plate of marshmallows and covered it in green food coloring and sat there mixing it on my off-white rug. So I
You
had
have
some cleaning to do
a
before I
green
came
rug
down.
now.
I had some cleaning to do before I came downstairs. Yeah, no, like again, like that's fine. It's like I don't know. I can't get excited about a white jersey. It's just, is this another Patriots thing? Or is that a me?
That's Squish the Fish, the Dolphins.
Oh, beat the Dolphin. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. We've
Krogan,
gone.
yeah, we're in throwback Patriot mode. I love it.
This is the last London game, but we have Giants versus Panthers in Germany.
I mean, yeah, cool. Yeah, Coop, Schlamkin, Shamklin. Sorry, didn't do what I hoped, but he did
What
have 0.3. That's how I lost this week.
what team is
Pittsburgh.
Schlamkin on?
He was a kick returner for Pittsburgh. And they didn't return kicks this week.
Oh, it looks like they're on a bye this week. No, here we are. Steelers versus the Jets. Okay, hold on. Present, share screen. They're playing against the Jets.
You're not talking me into this because it's good. I've already got Tank Dell in this week. Coop is basically calling me an idiot, which is true.
Well, but look, we can statistically say you should not start Aaron Shamklin because the Jets have kicked 0 returnable balls.
Yeah. So there's your answer,
Weeks 5 and
Russ.
6.
Russ and the numbers. Have it. Tank Dell is in.
There you go. You're welcome.
Oh, that was bad. I had to get a loss out of the way, Coop. I didn't want to be 12-0 going into week 7.
Yeah, the Browns needed to clear a roster spot. It makes sense. I don't remember what top 12 that he said Will Levis will be top 12, not top 5. I know.
Right.
I embellished.
It was Jaden Daniels was going to be top 5.
Well, Jaden Daniels is top 5.
I know.
All right, so I want to talk about Anthony Richardson coming back then, because someone else brought up Anthony Richardson. Like, I get if you're the Colts front office, you're like, we spent on this dude, but like, Flacco looks really good, and his wide receivers are doing so well, and Anthony Richardson, let him like just sit and watch Joe Flacco play for a little while. Like, maybe he'll learn something.
This is interesting, and I kind of talked about it on Twitter this week, where there's kind of a blind spot with running quarterbacks, and not the running quarterbacks who are competent throwers.
So we're not talking Lamar and Kyler.
Yeah, so not Lamar, not Kyler, not Josh Allen. Although Josh Allen was kind of an outlier because he was one of these guys, and I think
terrible.
I think we keep chasing that.
Yeah,
and I don't think that. I mean, it's the same idea as trying to chase Puka Nacua. Like, I don't think that's a great way to go about this, because typically players are who they tell us they are. Yeah. Like, there are players who do grow and grow into superstars, but that's basically what we're looking for with fantasy. And the disconnect is fantasy football. Somebody like Richardson, somebody like Justin Fields, even Willis at the beginning of this year when he filled in, like, he had a 30-point week as a quarterback.
Yeah.
The legs give you this idea that they're good quarterbacks.
No, but the
problem is the NFL is not playing fantasy football. They're trying to win actual football games. And so having a guy run for 80 yards and throw for 120 is not necessarily getting it done. And so there's this weird kind of twilight zone of good fantasy quarterbacks, bad NFL quarterbacks. And those are the guys that, and we've talked about this before on Trade Addicts. We've talked about this before on the Dynasty Dummies. We maybe even talked about it here, but like, this is the position now where running quarterbacks in Dynasty, I play like running backs. Yeah. Where, like, if I can get a couple of good years out of a player, I will trade them. I will try to get back another valuable positional asset and a pick, and try to re-rack it, because I think that's the way to play those positions that don't have longevity. And quarterback has longevity,
right?
But running quarterbacks who can't throw very well, read sub 60% completions, like, that's not a great formula for keeping your job on an NFL team.
Yeah, like, at this point, it's a long time ago, but like, the world loved Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Like, loved him. And don't get me wrong, he was good for fantasy. But like, even he was just so bad that it didn't work. It didn't last. Like, but I don't know. Like, it's so, like, I don't understand from a front office perspective how you walk away from Joe Flacco. Like, I understand, like, everything you just said is right. And that makes perfect sense as to why you walk away from Justin Fields after your team just scored 40 points, because he ran for 2 touchdowns.
Right.
You know, he didn't do anything. And just because Najee Harris felt like being Barry Sanders for a week. Well, I guess, no, I have to pick someone that was more powerful runner than Barry Sanders was, but it was just the first good running back that came to my mind. Unrelated. Trader Joe sent me the Beastquake run, but
Yeah.
commented in Japanese. The Japanese
That
commentators,
is awesome.
they get so into it. It's great. But like, I don't. It would hurt my brain for them just to be like, all right, Anthony Richardson's healthy, let's put him back in. Like, that's not what's best for your team right now. And again, I don't have the brain of a competitor, of like what that would do to Anthony Richardson. I don't have the brain of a front office person. I may not even have a brain. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't really tell, But my Pittman shares, my love for Josh Downs, and although Alec Pierce gets little play no matter who's the quarterback, because both of them can throw the ball really far. and AD Mitchell doesn't seem to really exist. But, Mo Alley Cox is getting some play with Joe Flacco in there. I love it.
Flacco is like Flacco's underrated.
He's always been good.
Yeah.
He's always been good. He became a meme because he called himself elite when he wasn't, and then came out and had an elite playoff run. And that just fed into it. But like, yeah, he never really got the respect he deserves because he was one of those players that the defense was more of the team than he was.
I was in the Baltimore airport when they won the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
It was wild.
I was in college in Pennsylvania.
Basically,
same thing.
Yeah, hanging out.
If Russ is a better passer, it's good. If he's not, they go back to Fields, and it's back to where they are now.
Yeah.
I wonder what leash Wilson has at this point. Like, worse, because what makes it worse for Wilson is that they were winning games with Fields, even though it wasn't the way you want it to be. But again, that defense wins you games anyway. Like, it's funny where when I was calling for the job of Pete Carroll for years, and they're like, and everyone's giving me shit, just like, you don't know what it's like to have a bad quarterback. And I'm just like, yes, that's true, but the problem is Russell Wilson is good for 7 wins a season on his own, so the team will never be bad to make themselves better.
Huh.
And the Steelers
hold my beer.
The Steelers defense, they made the playoffs with Pickett and Trubisky. Like, they don't care who their quarterback is. That's how good they are. So, like, they're gonna win games. And the thing that people that thought Fields is good is just because he didn't lose them games. Like, the people that think Fields is good are football people, where it's just like where wins are a QB stat. It's not at all. But like, and Russ is a better passer than Fields is. Like, he has to still be.
I think he processes the game quicker. Although, like, Fields has been serviceable. It's the Bobby Koch TM. Like, he's been okay. But I do think Russell Wilson's probably better, although I still want to see Fields.
I like Justin Fields. I hope he played well enough to get a job somewhere next year.
Yeah.
But if Anthony Richardson is coming back, I need Russell Wilson to start. I'm very selfish. I don't care. Is Calcaterra startable in SFB this week? That's where I'm at.
Oh, you got to be able to find something better on the waivers.
No.
Find kickers, Tim.
We got to start. That's the backup in tight end in Philly, right? Is that who Calcaterra is? Don't do that. But he also didn't do anything when Goddard was out earlier in the season, so no, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, hey, John Bosch. I want that SFPL9 hoodie so bad. I have mine, but ooh, to have Zach's game-worn one.
I'll sign it for you. Bring it to the expo.
And he'll get nice and sweaty and then rub the hood on there just to...
It's good luck. The bald head.
Are you a man? Yes. Are you alive? No. Evil Knievel. Damn it. Ocean's 11, baby. They're playing 20 questions.
Yeah.
Analyzing matchups and anticipating breakout performances can pave the way for success. That sounds like a lot of work.
It's true.
I don't want to do that.
You just listen to smart people who do that.
Yes, that's really what I do. Packers all whites this week look. No, it's just another all white. Just can we talk about kickers having numbers in the 30s and 40s for a second?
The entire NFL, like
Hashtag not my NFL. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, I can't handle it. I hate it so much. Like,
and you know what? Baseball has done the same thing. And I know not to be, but like so a couple weeks ago I went to a Red Sox game with my youngest, his first Red Sox game. The pitching matchup was number 72 against number 86.
Dude,
like what happened to like Roger Clemens wearing 21?
Yeah.
You know, Mariano Rivera wearing 42. Like, what are we doing? Like, what? Oh, sorry.
But is because like the NFL had certain positions co-ed to the baseball.
But now receivers are wearing 0. Yeah.
I hate 0. I hate 0 so much. I hate 0. And of course, Calvin Ridley has to go wearing 0.
Even the single digit wide receivers, it's weird.
Yeah.
Because it used to be quarterbacks and punters.
Yeah. Quarterbacks and punters. Yeah.
Like it's I get that it's like we're selling jerseys and guys can wear whatever number they want. Like I'm on board with that, but it's still like in my brain. It's hard to do. Yeah.
Like I was putting up with it for a while, but then when I saw the Packers kicker number 44, I'm like, nope, done. I'm out.
Now, if it was Sebastian Jankowski, like 44 looks okay, but
well, it's because he was so wide. It still looks like 11. He was so good. That dude can kick a ball 80 yards without trying.
Oh, he was, yeah. Oh, you have to point him in the right direction, though.
Oh, yeah, that does whatever. Hopefully, he won't be wearing on a snow. Oh, God, imagine wearing the all whites on a day where it's snowing. Like that has to be cheating. But like that's a brilliant strategic move on the Packers' part to pull that off one day. What's the one game this week you'll go out of your way to watch? Okay. I'll play that game.
The Liberty and the Lynx.
Oh, man. I'm looking at, I don't know if there are. Texans Packers would be fun. Stroud versus Love. Broncos Saints, who cares? Patriots Jaguars, no thanks. Lions Vikings should be good.
I mean, the Patriots game I'll watch because it's an island game.
Yeah.
But that's why.
Titans Bills, blah. Dolphins Colts, blah. Seahawks Falcons, blah. Texans Packers is interesting. Bengals Browns, blah. Eagles Giants, blah. Raiders Rams, blah. Panthers Commanders, blah. Chiefs Niners. That'll be interesting.
The Lions Vikings, it will be the one that I want to watch. Yeah.
Jets Steelers, blah. Ravens Bucks. Two of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah.
I'm loving this Baker stuff, man.
And you never know what that Bucks backfield is going to do. You know, whether it's going to be Bucky Irvin or whether it's going to be Sean Tucker. You just never know.
As long as just like the Rachaad White doesn't need to come back now.
No, and it makes rookie draft evaluation Zach happy,
very happy.
Yeah, because of the way that things shaken out.
I drafted a lot of Bucky Irving too, so it makes me a little happy.
I was not a big Rachaad White guy.
Well, that's why I drafted. Like I didn't have a lot of strong feelings on Bucky Irving, which means you probably didn't have a lot of strong feelings on Bucky Irving. But I drafted a lot of him because of the situation, because I know Rachaad White's not that good.
I mean, he was one of the guys that I went on with Heath Cummings on his podcast, and Bucky Irving was one of the guys that I was like, you should probably like go get him because he's being undervalued. And again, like I was not a Rashad White guy, and so by default, you'll take Bucky Irving. Irving was he was my running back 7 in this class. So like he was in the group with like Rasheen Ali and him and Vidal and Marshawn Lloyd, who we won't talk about, but like those
Well, he's hurt.
yeah, I mean those 4 guys, like I feel like that's it's not a bad group.
Blackshear about to go crazy
Yes,
against Washington.
he absolutely is, because Washington is like the team that like gives up all the kick returns.
Yep, 75%.
Yep, that is a good call.
Yes, Coop dropping that big knowledge.
No, that's
If
Coop
Russell
making.
Wilson is good, they will play him. If he is not, they won't.
No, that was Coop making fun of me for starting a kick returner over Tank Dell, who's like my 4th round pick.
Hey, Scampers. I have a lot of shares of both. We talked about it already, but I'm still gonna.
So we had J Mike.
I've heard of him.
Drop into a chat in a league and say, I'm either going to trade Devontae Adams or Garrett Wilson. I don't care.
Yes.
I was driving, so I was getting in my car when he sent that.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I drove home, which is 8 minutes, he had already traded Garrett Wilson.
DK Metcalf in a second.
Yeah, I mean, which is fine. I still think I'd rather have Garrett Wilson, but like, it's not a bad trade. But like, I would have done that.
Yeah, I don't.
But like, I would have given up something similar.
That's way harsh, Tim. Oh, that's way harsh, Ty. That's something I say all the freaking time from Clueless. Debo time. Sean Tucker just went for $143 of fab in my high stakes league.
There's a lot.
I got him in SFB for $16.
That is not as much. I think he went for 2 in ours because nobody has any fab.
Yeah, I don't have much more. I probably have $16. I probably spent half of what I had. Did anyone else go for nearly that much today? Garendo went for 10. Oh, apparently Yoshivas was on waivers for $8. I should probably watch to see who gets dropped. Calcaterra went for $4 and Dortch went for 0.
I'm hurting right now. I just Shaheed with his knee, like that's not great. I also have lost. I mean, it's just not. I mean, everybody's got this, but like, I'm trending negatively. I was in the top 60, then I went to 80, then I went to 130. I'm down to 184, and we're still going. It's still not great. Maybe it's 186. I can't remember.
Yeah, I have to go see what I'm at. I broke my 3-game losing streak at least. I won against the. I'm 958. Never mind. I'm 7-5. I was on a 3-game losing streak, but at least once in there, I won against the median. This week, I won my matchup, but lost against the median, so it just sort of evened out anyway.
Yeah, this was I lost the charts this week. This is my first loss. Not great.
Not great.
No.
Not great, Bob.
No, and it was my own, like, as Coop pointed out, and he's right. It was my own stupidity. So.
Russ Wilson doesn't have a leash. He's unlimited. Fields 10 touchdowns, one just like so.
Yeah, he's been good, and they're 4-2. Like, I get, like, and that the quote out of Pittsburgh was, he's been good, but we're striving for greatness, and we have a quarterback, and it's like, cool. but you're also 4-2, and he's been pretty good. Ish.
SFB scoring: Addison already starting Jefferson, Leggett, or Darnold. You start the quarterback, right? Who did we say they're playing again? Oh, they're playing the Lions. Was it?
Yeah, that should be a shootout. I don't want to say that the Lions don't have Hutchinson, but they don't yeah. No, I know, like that sucks, but like
It matters.
yeah, it changes their pass rush, which change like I I think sometimes we forget how kind of codependent at a defensive unit is.
Yeah.
Because if you get a good pass rush, it takes so much pressure off the guys in the back,
Yep.
like in the back of your defense. And so not having that player up front who's getting a double team, who creates, mismatches and creates pressures, changes the amount of time a quarterback has in the pocket, changes the amount of time your corners have to cover, changes when your safeties roll. And so like it matters. And I do think it's Darnold.
Yeah. I mean, Darnold's averaging 20. He's coming off a bye week and then bad week before that, but he's still averaging 20 points a game in SFB scoring. Like, that's great. And I mean, with Leggett, you're just hoping for a touchdown.
And I mean,
Addison a little bit the same, but like still he's fine. But still, why not? There's no reason not to start Darnold.
Don't chase the Leggett 50-point week like that. Like I went and picked him up because he was on waivers, but I'm still not like I'm going to pick my spots where I start him against teams that are going to allow kick returns. Like it's not like wheels up Xavier Leggett.
Yeah, no. But I mean, it's fun. I'm glad he's doing well.
Yes.
Seabass. Kick his ass, Seabass. Another, oh man, Dumb and Dumber. The amount of
I almost did the earlier when we were talking about the jersey numbers. I almost did the we got no food, we got no jobs, our pets' heads are falling off.
I got worms.
That's not bad. That's like halfway.
That was that is literally always my goal. My goal for SFB is to be top half. And ever since coming to terms with that, I've always done it. I did pretty well that. Like last year, I finished like 168th, I think it was, and that is a pure anomaly and will never happen again. Like that was literally blind luck. Like Jaden Reed saved my life last season, but like top half still feels great, especially with how large this has gotten.
And how. So when I first got into the Scott Fish Bowl, first of all, it was wild. Like because I was doing a podcast, but I was a fan, and I think that's the thing. There are so many people who are so plugged in, and are really really good. Like because it's gotten to the point where like it's like a Scott Fish Bowl entry is coveted, like really coveted. People pay attention, and man, it is the competition is really good. So if you're in the top half, not only have you done something impressive, you've also gotten lucky, because that's the other part of this.
You gotta be.
Yeah, you're either avoiding injury or you're hitting some player that is doing, you found Chase Brown in the 12th round, something like that. Sorry, I found it. There he was.
Oh yeah, you're starting Blackshear this week for sure. Peter Harriet 236 knocked out of the undefeated. Hey man, only 44 undefeated teams left.
Yeah, I was knocked out of the undefeated this week, Peter, too. So I feel for you. Good luck.
It's not that knowledge was dropped on Blackshear. It's the fact that they are playing the Manders,
Yeah.
and the Manders have a 75% returnable kick rate.
Yeah. And
So
I think that like that's huge. And again, it's why you should be dropping in to hang out on Wednesday night, because Russ, the maven of metrics, is dropping knowledge like that with this list of teams that actually allow returns. Because if you get a kick returner who has 3 or 4 returns in a week,
that's all it takes.
that's going to be a 20-point week. That's going to be 100 yards in return. The average return is a 30-yard return. So
I love that the average return is the touchback line.
yeah, I mean, and it's almost perfect because you make teams make that decision. I still think that there's going to come a point where teams realize, and it may not be this year, so it may not help you with Scott Fishbowl. There's going to be a point where teams realize that because kicking it in the end zone yields the same result as letting a team return, and there's so much more positive that can happen with letting a team return it. Like they can fumble, they can,
Get less than 30
yeah,
yards.
get less than 30. So like I think that you're going to see more and more kicks. I don't know that for sure, but like in my mind, that's the rational, like that's the game theory. The rational move
there's
is
so many teams that just right now at least are just like, nope, through
Yeah.
the end zone, through the end
Yeah.
zone, through the end zone, through the end zone.
And I get it. Like that's the NFL is pretty conservative. They still want to establish the run, even though it's established that establishing the run isn't doing what you think it is. But teams that win run. Like, yeah, they run once they are winning to
Yeah.
move the clock.
The team with the most quarterback kneels usually wins. That's my favorite one.
Yeah. Yep.
Broncos are playing the Saints.
The Saints. So here's the problem with that, though, Tim. I'm not sure how many times the Saints
They'll be
are
kicking
off.
No Olave, no Shaheed. Rattler didn't look bad.
No, it's ugly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I hope they kick off a bunch because I have Groupie.
Yes.
And so I thought they may be kicking field goals, but
hey, Bub means superstar.
Yeah. I went to find him, and I'm pretty sure that it was Coop who spent 12 fab.
He's just always getting the better of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, for sure. This like the fact that I like started out hot and lucky is a complete fluke in like that division. It's just ridiculous. Like,
well, it's also weird that Hot and Lucky was your nickname in high school.
Yeah. I can't even deny it. No.
It's so bad that I find myself funny. That's like my. Yeah, Scampers. If Cup plays, you play Cup. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, because if he plays, he's healthy enough to play, and if he's healthy enough to play, he's good at football.
He's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, but punting's not as.
Yeah, but punting's not as dependable for return yardage. Yeah. Plus, it seems like their teams are more willing to cycle through punt returners than they are through kick returners. Kick returners seem to be set, but punt returners seem to be a little rotational. How long until Chubb is effective? I want to see that Chubb can actually run. Like, to me, it's crazy that he can walk without a cane at this point.
Yeah. And it like that's the second like major knee injury for Chubb. He had one in college too.
Oh yeah, real like both of his knees, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like that was before I even paid attention to football and I knew about that injury. Like, oh no, I was paying attention to football, but before I was paying attention to college football. Yeah, if those people that drafted Shaheed in the first, if he goes to IR, will know how many people that drafted CMC and Puka and just join the club, I guess is what it comes down to.
I mean, I avoided all of that and drafted Bijan.
Scored a touchdown this week, right?
He did. He was okay this week finally, but well, the real answer was to trade out of the first.
Trade out of the first. Always the answer is always to trade. So now cold and unlucky. Well, he's not cold. He's wearing a really nice, warm, comfy hoodie right now.
True. That's true.
Luck we'll have to figure out later down the line, but oh, okay. Bob, you should really just log into your own account, I guess. Anthony Richardson or Sam Laporta, Dynasty 2 QB. How many teams? 2 QB. The answer's probably still Richardson.
Yeah.
Just because he's a quarterback in a 2 QB league. And I'm assuming if it's 10 teams, maybe that changes a little bit. But if it's 10 team, that also devalues the positional advantage of the tight end as well. Not like Sam Laporta is a positional advantage right now.
Right.
Have you watched any Lions games to know what's going on with that?
Not enough.
Yeah, it's just like it's not like Jameson Williams is getting the targets that Laporta would have been getting.
Well, but he's running a lot of those the slant routes though that Laporta had, like the big chunk. But it's also like I think, and this is kind of league wide, I think defenses have shifted a little bit to try to take away the tight end. And so you're seeing more of those, like, and we talked a little bit about it, the way the kind of the cover 2 works. The openings in those are going to be down the field and sideline. Yeah. And so a lot of the tight end routes are middle of the field and seam routes.
Yeah.
And so I think that the way, because earlier, like a few years ago, it was a ton of middle of the field. Like that's what was being left open was middle of the field. It was a lot of guys sliding in and creating mismatches out of the slot, tight ends creating mismatches out of the slot. But, and I mean, also he scored a lot of touchdowns last year. And that, like,
yeah,
that makes a difference.
Yeah, but there aren't many games where he left with one reception for 43 yards and a touchdown. Like that seems a little rougher than normal. Hey, Streets. Oof. Drafted CMC, Pacheco, and Puka.
I got Pacheco. Not great. Yeah,
that's rough, buddy. I mean, that's not a movie, but Avatar makes me happy. The line, but the Lions ran a lot last year too. Like I don't know. Again, I have no idea if it's more, if it's less, but like the Lions are absolutely seemingly a running team, and that was fine last year. It seems to, and St. Brown seems to still get his most of the time. So like What about Chargers for returners against them? Also have DJ Dallas. Let's see what their kickers are doing. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I need to reshare. Chargers, not great, Bob. 16.67%. Well, yeah, that's the returnable rate the Chargers are kicking.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's. Though again, it's one of like the two guys who have scored a touchdown. So like if you need that, like if the rest of your team is like safe and you want that touchdown Hail Mary possibility, maybe you throw them in there, but they seem to just put it out the back. Rice, Moody.
Oh, yeah. It is like, and we say this every year because every year it is this way, but like every year is the worst year for injuries. It's the
just NFL, go to your settings, find that injury rating, and just
But yeah, like he had like sorry, I just jumped back. Laporta had 10 touchdowns last year.
Yes.
Like this is an aberration where he's only got one so far this year, but like 10 is a lot. Like
Goff is down 7 pass attempts per game this year from last year, and that includes the Tampa game where he threw 55 times.
Yeah.
If you take that out, he's down 13 from last year. All right, so yeah, fair enough. That'll do it. That will absolutely do it.
It's all Jameson Williams' fault.
It's all Jameson Williams' fault. SFB, I'm surviving, hitting on Kyren, Henry, Monty, Mostert, drafted CMC Cup, Njoku, Herbert. Oof. Yeah, but like, yeah, man, you picked the right running backs in Kyren and Henry for sure. And Monty, yeah. The newly paid Monty. And Njoku's back, and there's one less player to catch the ball there, so Njoku might start stepping up if he didn't get hurt again. Did he get hurt again? I think he got hurt again.
I don't know.
35.6 attempts in 2023, 23.3 this year.
23 is not getting it done, Frank. Let's go. You got to pump up those numbers.
Oh, what is those are rookie numbers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything? Oh, there was something I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember what it is anymore. I know I wanted to complain about Anthony Richardson starting again. Clearly, the trades. We didn't really talk about Amari Cooper, but is there anything?
I mean, he's better than what he has been. Deshaun Watson is that bad. Like I know there are a lot of like negative stats on Amari Cooper, but most of those are a reflection. He is the moon, and he is reflecting the light from Deshaun Watson, which is that's not pretty.
That ain't the right moon.
Yeah, no, that's no moon.
Last question: pork or chicken pot stickers?
Yes.
The answer is pork to me. If I 99% of the time, if I have a choice between chicken and pork, the answer is going to be pork.
Yeah, that sounds right. But
I mean, first of all, if you're going to go chicken, it needs to be dark meat because I get it. White meat's better for you and all that stuff, but it doesn't taste like anything.
And we had the conversation last week. I know we did about because you can.
Was that last week or the week before? But we definitely had
like where you can buy like you can't buy skin on boneless thighs.
Yes.
Yeah. But I got a nice ribeye in the fridge. I just got that today. I'm excited about it. That's gonna be ribeyes. It's gonna be like. I'll do Brussels sprouts.
What do you do with steaks? How do you cook steaks?
Oh, so like salt, pepper, a little bit of nit of olive oil, just a nit of butter, and and so it depends. So and it also depends on if I'm serving to other people or if it's just me. And like my wife is at the point now where she eats what the things or steak the way I do. If I'm serving to other people, I will ask them doneness, and I'll do it in. I have a really nice cast iron, and I'll do it in that, and then finish in the oven. So you go 400 degrees, finish in the oven for like a medium rare. It's like 3.5 minutes and if you want it medium, it's like 4.5, 5. And if you want it like more done than that, that's fine. But that you just might as well just throw it in there for like 6 or 7 and call it good. That's not how I'm eating mine, but like I am not a food snob. Like you eat what you want. But I'm also going to go like medium rare.
Yes, I'm a medium rare guy.
And the trick, it's really funny because people are like, you eat steak in a restaurant and it's delicious. They're just like finishing with butter. Like that's why it's so delicious. And they probably have some, like an herbed. You're either throwing in some like tarragon or whatever, and you're pouring it over the steak. And so like if I'm cooking for other people, I'll do that. If I'm not, I'm just gonna salt, pepper, a little bit of butter, a little bit of olive oil, and I'm gonna sear both sides because
Yes.
I like mine on the rarer side.
Hmm.
So like I'm not even gonna finish in the oven. I'm just gonna sear both sides, and it's gonna be like rare, medium rare. I'm gonna be very happy with it. It's gonna be very tender. The key is you just gotta buy a good steak. Like that, if you don't buy a good steak, you got to do something like low and slow, and don't do the
Let's see
sear.
here.
Like you got to do something else. But like if you buy a good steak, it's
Well, first of
pretty
all,
high.
ribeye is wonderful because of the
Yeah,
amount of
there's so
marbling that
much
it has
fat.
going on.
Yeah.
But salt, pepper, garlic, usually olive oil and butter. Like I'll throw that in a Ziploc bag, let
Hmm.
it sit in the fridge for a little bit. Yeah, that's like a minimum of what I do. Um, but yeah, on the same like Trish likes fillets, like fillet, and I end up eating strips because it's to get a good ribeye gets expensive around here. Um, so it's not always worth it. So I get a lot of strip steaks, which is also fine because it has that
Yeah.
fat around the back of it. Um, but so yeah, hers, oh my god, I gotta and then throw it in because she also eats it a lot. She doesn't eat it. She eats it medium. I eat it medium rare.
Yep.
So like I cook hers for like 10 minutes before I even throw mine on because I'm not quite like I'm medium rare like, and if it's undercooked and I'm hungry, I don't care.
Yeah.
But like I prefer to be like not purple. Like my grandpa
You're
used
not
to
doing the
eat.
Pittsburgh where you get like real hot and they like go like charred on the outside and then like blue in the middle.
My grandpa used to eat it with the inside was cold.
Oh
Like
no,
he would char the outside and the inside would still pretty much
that
be cold.
Pittsburgh style, baby.
He's a man. He was a marine. Ugh, no, thank you. That is just ugh.
But yeah, I mean, I'm lucky. We got a couple of really nice like local farms, and
Yeah,
they like the butcher counter at the local grocery store um
yeah,
is served by Bisson's. I actually and they like local family been here forever. So
yeah. We don't have that. I live in central New Jersey where we're so overpopulated. Everything's just chains.
I
We
get
don't
get
have local
get,
anything.
get like a nice like inch and a half like nice ribeye for like $12. They're like, thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Mine would be this
It's
big.
wild. Yeah.
See, the thing is, but like pork has at least a nice salty base to it. Like plain, like if you did nothing to a piece of chicken and cooked it and you bit into it, you would only know you bit into it because there was texture to it. At least pork, if you do nothing to it, has a little bit of a salty taste to it. Like there's something to it. But yes, they are white meats. They're canvases.
I just got the Matrix. What if they didn't know what chicken tastes like?
So that's
And
why
that's
chicken
why
tastes like meat.
chicken tastes like everything.
I will also ask people preferred steak temps, but then I won't know how to do it, and then they get what they get. It's
But
yes,
that's why you use the oven. Again, like 400 degrees, and then you just finish it in the oven, and it's literally, I mean, it's a little bit because you got to take into account the thickness of the steak, but like
yeah.
it's pretty well set.
I've
Like
gotten rather good with the strip steaks, getting to know like the elasticity of the middle of the meat, when you push down on it to see what it's going to come out like. I can guarantee you I was not going to talk about Otani absolutely nuking a ball just now. I know who that is. That's a plus. Like, but yeah, I wasn't going to do that. I don't know. Filet is one of those things where it's just like lobster and champagne. There are things that I don't like that I feel like I'm less classy because I don't like them. And it's not that I dislike filet. I would gladly eat a filet because it's still steak, but like it's not at all what I would choose.
but you gotta like filet to me is like at a restaurant. Like because like I'm not going to cook a fillet and do it justice because it doesn't have the fat. It doesn't have like I need somebody who is like a professional, and I've got to have all the accoutrement. I've got to have
Yes.
everything with it. Maybe we'll do like a gastrique or a reduction, and we're like all of that. Yeah. And so like it's great. It's tender. But it's got to be done right, and that's
And
not
drowned
like
in butter because that
like
just makes everything better.
but that's not how I like. And this this is not the extent of my restaurant, but like the last really good filet I had was in Disney. Like Disney, it was literally at Le
The food there is
Cellier.
very good.
Yeah, it was the steakhouse in Epcot, and it was delicious. But it was like it's the Canadian restaurant, so it had like maple, and it was amazing. But as a general rule, like if I'm gonna go, like if I'm buying a steak, I'm gonna hose up a fillet like nobody's business. So I'm gonna go get a ribeye,
Yes.
or a New York strip, like something like that that's got enough fat in it that I'm not gonna, overcook it or mess it up.
I mean, the thing is, like, I feel this way about everything, though. Like, I have a friend who, like, eats hockey pucks as hamburgers, and I accidentally
Yeah.
took a bite of it once, and, like, I had to spit it out. Like, I couldn't chew it. But that's the way he likes it. Like, so, like, I used to be a medium well steak guy, but then Food Network came on the air in central New Jersey, and they kept saying, like, if you're not eating your steaks medium rare, you're eating them wrong. And I'm like, well, I don't want to eat my steaks wrong. And then I just slowly worked my way back down, and now I have no idea what I was thinking eating it even medium. Like, but
There's so
like
much flavor, but a lot of people get hung up on like the myoglobin. Like they look and they're like, "Oh, it's bleeding," and it's like, "No, it's not.
no, it's
It's
not. That's
not.
not what
It's
that
the
is.
yeah." But
I've never had a hanger steak as a steak. I've only had it as a sandwich.
that sounds good too.
Well, of course it was. Yes.
But
Had no idea was tri-tip was till I lived in Utah for a year. Not a thing in Chicago, but now I love it. It's a thing. I didn't realize maybe it was regional, but tri-tip's a thing.
yeah, and like hanger's really tender. Like that's like
Well,
that's
that's
like
what makes it.
that's like belly steak. That's really good.
I agree. Ribeye to me is the one I want to. Well, first of all, that's 110, Frank. You have to do 101. So I disagree with what you're saying right there, Frank. Steak, big green egg make you weak in the knees.
All right, Bob. The big green egg has to come to Canton then.
I don't know what that means.
It's like a grill smoker thing.
Oh,
Like the Traeger. Is it Traeger? Or is it just big green egg? I don't know. I'd have to look that up. I don't have one. I'm not fancy. I just do mine on the cooktop.
birthday dinner earlier this year at Burns in Tampa. Steak to die for.
Ooh. Sounds good.
There's
I hardly ever go out for steak though.
I do not here in this when I go into New York City, I will. There's a place called Wolfgang's, and there's this steak that they bring out, and it's on like the fajita plates from Fridays, and where it's like sizzling and everything, and
Yep.
you just see the butter crackling on there, like
Yep.
they cut it for you, and it's just like I'm a goose at that point. Like I don't even bother chewing. It's just it's so good.
Just get some roughage, some gullet stones, and you're good.
There you go. Yeah, just swallow some stones so it helps take it off. The name tri-tip might be regional. It's a bottom sirloin. I've never heard bottom sirloin, but I have heard tri-tip, so I don't know.
Maybe we're from the same region.
Fair.
But Bob is now sending text message pictures of steak.
I want text message pictures of steak. Yeah, I got him too. Nice.
Oh man.
Oh, Bob, hold on.
Sign us up. Yep.
The color isn't coming through well enough. It's not as white as it looks.
We're no longer
Oh.
going to Samantha's downtown. We're just gonna have steak and eggs for breakfast next year at the expo.
Well, hold on. Look at this tomahawk right here.
I see it.
Look at that. That's a weapon. I would hit myself in the face with that.
Walk around like a lollipop. There we go.
Throw it over my shoulder and then just. Oh, that's so good. Okay. Well, we can get a mini big green egg.
Oh, that's like a small green egg.
It's like an ostrich egg.
Emu. Emu. I'm pretty sure actually have green eggs.
Oh, do they? Because I know ostrich eggs are big.
Yeah. But like emu eggs are similar size, but green.
Oh, you know what I'm supposed to do? Before we do end up heading out and all of that stuff anyway, I'm supposed to remind you all the stuff we got going on. First of all, fantasycares.org/NBCF, National Breast Cancer Foundation. Every dollar that's getting donated to this campaign, up to $5,000, will get matched by the end of the month, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And a few more days, the 20th, 4 more days, for you to go to fantasycares.org/mug. This is an 18-ounce, like, I'm calling it a cocoa mug. Like, I call them soup mugs. I don't know if you have whatever these are, but like, they're the two-handers. Like, you need to like ring on one and then underneath. So you're like,
it looks like an ice cream mug to me, Russ.
Yes, we also use it for that as well. But that is one mug, by the way. It'll have the Home Alone logo on one side, Fantasy Cares logo on the other. You have 4 more days to go and get your order in. Well, that's a lie. Make your donation and you'll receive a thank you of a mug for your donation. I looked and I just see a picture labeled Best Unis.
That's fair. The Oilers. Oh, yeah. I'm not a big creamsicle guy, though.
I like it, but I don't know if I call it best.
No.
And I got to be honest, the Bumblebee grew on me.
I don't mind the Pittsburgh Bumblebee. I don't mind it. I don't know.
Scamper's also saying soup. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right, but we're going to bed before I end up going for second dinner, because that's the way. Like, even Scampers, it's
already
closer
thinking
to dinner
about
time
it
for you than it is for us.
I'm already thinking about it. I'm like, man, could I get away with cooking the steak now?
Your house will smell so good when you wake up.
I'm working from home tomorrow too, so that
even
could be an added benefit. Yeah,
all day just smelling that steak. Okay, no, we got to say goodbye, because now all I can think about is steak, and I don't have any defrosted, so I can't do anything about it anyway. Thank you, everyone, for coming around on another Wednesday afternoon. It legitimately means a lot that you all come here and hang out with us. Like I said, I would do it anyway because I love sitting here talking to Zach, but like, it warms my heart that all of you just come here and hang with us. It's cool as hell. I'll say what it is. But on that note, I just said all of the Fantasy Care stuff that you need to look into, that I'm sure all of you know, because you're all the people that are always around anyway. But we appreciate the heck out of you for all that you are and all that you do. And what button should I click to go out? What? It's Bob made us that video that I played the second show, because I didn't realize it was there, the first one. And like, I feel like we're not, like, our vibe isn't really after dark or anything. So like, I feel like I'm going to play this as for the show that would be coming on after us. This is going to be the exit
but it's
video.
It is October now, so like,
it works a little anyway.
We get the
All right, but night, everybody. See you later.
Good night.